All right. Well, welcome everybody. And thank you again so much to Steve and Jenny for getting this call started and hosting everybody. This is still vacation. It's still holiday. And so to those of you guys who are on this call, you get extra credit. Just saying.
I don't sit as tall in the saddle as Steve does when he's sitting in this chair. He's like way up here and I feel like I'm all down. Yeah.
But what Hal and I had a lot of time to talk on this amazing trip. And for those of you guys who are joining us for the first time, my name is Lisa Bell Henson. This is my husband, Hal, and Elevation Call is what you're on right now. This is just our favorite time to touch base with our team and to really help us all elevate our game. And in this case, we're really welcoming a new whole year of business, and we're going to talk a little bit about using the Zilis platform to really help us address our hopes and our dreams just in life, because we just are really kind of coming back from an amazing adventure. Some of you guys might follow us on Facebook and saw that we left Evansville last Monday and had an amazing.
We left Farmington. We left home
Farmington.
on Monday.
I don't know where my home is anymore.
I know, it's okay.
So we left Farmington, Arkansas last Monday, came to Evansville, had a great meeting / Christmas party with Mary Ellen Ziliak and Roger and that team.
And the Workmeisters drove in from St. Louis, and then Arnold, Missouri, actually.
Steve and Jenny Todd welcomed us in Pensacola, Florida the following day. And so literally we're coming back after having had an amazing adventure.
Yeah, but we had such a good time with them here when we were here before. We decided to come back. Actually, we've been here before with them, and they always take us to the beach. Perdido Key is such a beautiful area. And I got to eat sushi. It was so good. It was so fresh. And they know the restaurants here. So anyway, we're here tonight, coming back through. We literally just pulled in, as y'all know. Let's see, what do we got? Little background. There we go. Somebody's watching Sunday Night Football or something.
So what we wanted to do, guys, tonight is just really kind of wrap up 2021. And then I'm going to have Hal just recognize the people who just kind of ended in the top 25 in rollers.
Yeah, for the whole year.
For the entire year.
We think we've got all this. So they've already got it off the board, but so for those of you that are new, Zilis posts every week, actually every day, the entire company's enrollment of new folks that have joined us in our mission. And that being from wholesale customers to people who are building. And then at the end of the year, they have kind of the top 25 board for the whole year. And so rather than focusing on just 2 months in January, we want to talk about and recognize those who ended the year, which is a big deal to end the entire year, like all of 2021 on the top 25 enrollment leaderboard. So we don't have the exact numbers of where people placed because it's not posted right now, but we know these are the people. So Lisa Hall, who's on this leaderboard all the time, every month, over the last several months, Lisa has just steadily, consistently been personally enrolling, but at the same time, she's helped a lot of people on her team. And then Jason and Julie Smith out of the Tyler, Texas area, which came in hard and strong back during the summer and posted a lot of numbers back in the summertime. Laura McClendon is actually their sponsor in Tyler. And so she didn't just sponsor winners, people who are enrolling people, but she herself continues to sponsor and has all year. And then Dr. Susan Welch, her and Brian, who are in the Fort Walton Beach area. And so they have been on the top leaderboard all year. And then really, honestly, we're in the home of two people who, Steve and Jenny Todd, who are on the top 25 leaderboard for the entire year. And a lot of the people we just mentioned on this top 25 board are actually on their team. So, and then Hal and Lisa, we actually ended up on the leaderboard pretty close to the top for the year, somewhere around, I don't know where we ended up, but pretty close to the top. And so we're really grateful that many of you were on this call as a result of us personally sponsoring, bringing you into the business, helping mentor you directly. And I mean, I see a couple of those faces here right now, so that's pretty cool. So
absolutely. So we are super grateful to you guys. Really, this has been an amazing adventure for us over the last 7 days. I guess tomorrow will be 7 days since we
Yeah.
left Arkansas. And one of the things we have an opportunity to do when we get out on the field and we really get to go to home markets is we just learn incredible lessons from seeing our ambassadors in the field, meeting your prospects, meeting your team members, new and seasoned. And we always find that there are some really powerful lessons in what we do.
Mhm.
And one of the lessons that I wanted to share with you guys is kind of a metaphor, if you will, for this business. But it was when Jenny Todd knows how much I love the beach. And she wanted to take us to the beach the morning that we were actually here the following day. And when we woke up, the weather was really overcast. It was a little bit ominous, almost looked like it had been raining. And I was like, this is not going to be a good day for the beach. The one chance we have to go to the beach. And she said, I've been here before. She goes, look, I know that if we just get ready, if we just go ahead and get everything loaded in the car and we just keep proceeding according to plan, by the time that we get out to the beach, the sun is going to burn off all the fog. And I'm like, I don't know about that, but I followed Jenny's plan. And just as she said, we got our things packed into the
We
Jeep.
got in their Jeep.
And their Jeep, went to the Perdido Key, beautiful area. And it was still, like I'd never been to the beach before where it was just complete haze and kind of misting, like we were wet because it was so foggy and we couldn't really see that far. You could barely see the shoreline standing on the beach. And in fact, we kind of wrapped in towels because it was really, really chilly. And so Jenny knows I love to walk. So she goes, let's just go for a walk. So we left.
And me and Steve sat in chairs and talked.
We left Hal and Steve behind. And, Jenny is just all about forward movement. And so they normally walk 30 minutes one direction and 30 minutes back, which is not for sissies. So I'm like, hey, I want to go too. But literally by the time we got maybe 2/3 of the way into that 30-minute walk down the beach, wouldn't you know, the sun burned through the clouds and the beach just came to life. And it was just a spectacular miracle, but also a metaphor of really this business and how when we are brand new, and sometimes when, we're, maybe hitting a point in our business where things are changing in our personal life and we can't completely focus on it, that sometimes you feel like you're in a fog and you can't really see clearly until you follow the path that had been set for you, follow somebody who's actually done it before. And maybe when you least expect it.
So if Lisa and I had been like at a hotel or something, we probably wouldn't have gone to the beach that day. We would have said, it's not a good day. It's too bad. Poor us. We came all this way, only have a short amount of time, missed our opportunity. It just wasn't going to happen. I don't know that I'd have gotten up and gone down there, but because we followed Steve and Jenny's lead, they say, we're here all the time. We know what this does. Feel strongly that it's going to clear up. And we followed their lead. And so that's a big part of this metaphor is that, you're seeing us travel, you're seeing us get our new Jeep, you're seeing us do a lot of these things. What we want to say to you, and again, the fog will lift for you if you keep showing up. If you show up, keep moving forward. So.
And so that was just a great metaphor and something that really struck me. I'm like, Jenny, that is really just so much about how this business works. And what I would suggest to all of us is 2022 is a completely new year, new energy, new opportunity to be able to hit that Jeep, which is that first level of financial freedom. And the path has been laid by those of us and many of you guys on your team. You've got people, leaders who have actually blazed that trail. In a new year, it's going to be a completely new energy. And I'm excited about the opportunity for all of us to be able to hit those goals that we've set for ourselves.
So I don't know where we were. Here's a good example. So I don't know exactly where we were, where you were a year ago, but a part of this trip for us also was having a home hosted meeting in Evansville, outside of Evansville at Roger and Mary Ellen Ziliak's home. And Mary Ellen's like, we can host up to 100 people here. And so they just, we just had a little get together while we were there because we got to see Nate and Brandy and they, let's do a little Christmas get together in the Evansville area. And what was really neat was to hear the stories of our friends who've been in the business with us for a long time before I even got involved. I'm thinking about Eddie and Karen Hale. Always loved seeing them and how they got started. But then we had some brand new people there, even some guests there who were just now finding out about the impact of Zilis on the products on people. And it just felt like family. It just felt, it was so awesome. Had the fire going, and we went from the fire places of Indiana to the beach. And
What I
it just
loved
feels like
about,
family.
yeah, what I loved about Mary Ellen's house and that what they hosted was it allowed people who might be newer, like Christina even brought a guest. She did a great job with that, to kind of understand a little bit more about how the platform is built and how, you know, we might have been the first people that had seen this in Evansville, Indiana, but because we shared it with people who shared it with people, we were brought to Mary Ellen. Karen Hell, you know, brought Mary Ellen in, and you could kind of see a little bit more about just how that tapestry is built by people who are willing to share this.
Right.
Which is very exciting.
So that brought us here to the beach. We got to see that. Then we went and had a great lunch with Steve and Jenny. I got to eat my sushi, and we had some great seafood here. And then we headed on over to, in the afternoon, we headed over to Fort Walton Beach, where Ed Keller was waiting on us with open arms at his beautiful home. That I just wish all of you, I wish every single one of you could have been where we have been the last couple of days. I mean, Ed's home is a beautiful home. Maybe we posted some pictures on Facebook, but we had a really good meeting with some folks there that we had never met before. A few people that are brand new, a couple that we've heard their names, but Ed hosted that. Steve and Jenny drove over with us and took George from Alabama, and we had a really wonderful meeting. And we had a great time with Ed in the morning before we took off to Tampa to go see the Razorbacks beat Penn State. But standing out, looking out, maybe I should just turn this over to Ed because he can describe it better.
Ed, I want you to talk a little bit about how dolphins feed. And
what brought on that conversation?
Oh, that's pretty, okay. Wow. I said, what brought on the conversation? We were talking about, and I was talking about how everybody in the Zilis upline and downline is like an extended family and a team, and you don't have to do this alone, and you really shouldn't do it alone because everybody is there to help out, and you don't have to know everything about everything. You just have to know who to contact for the people that know that about everything. So with that in mind, we were sitting on the back porch. And I was talking about the
what are
how
you
the
looking
dolphins.
At? Let me stop. What are you looking at when you're standing on your back porch?
Well, actually, I went to Google Earth and I put an image in there.
Oh, awesome! Thanks. You got to get your head out of the way, though.
Yeah, I got to get my head out of the way. I'll get me out of here somehow or another. I don't know how to do that.
Where are you, Ed?
Let him talk us through it.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, there we go. Get my pointer working here. I don't know how to do that. But basically, where my finger is where the house. Yeah. There we go. There's a house right there.
Right
yes.
there.
What happens? The dolphins. The dolphins go back and forth once or twice a day, feeding up and down here. And a lot of times when there's fish right in here, they'll work together as a team, and they'll herd the fish into this area that's just right there. You got the jetties on this part right here, and then the beach right there. And what they do is they'll herd them in that area so they get kind of an L shape where they can't, go back out. And then the dolphin will slap its tail really, really, really loud 2 or 3 times, just like shotguns going off to stun the fish. And then faster than you can imagine, they go around the circle like a 20-foot diameter and stir the sand up. It gets the fish all disoriented. And the dolphin jump in to the area, the fish jump out, and as a team, they all get to eat and enjoy the fruits of their work.
That's such a beautiful story. Thank you for pulling out the Google Maps. It's great to give people an idea. It's not near as beautiful looking at it from this angle as it is standing on your back porch looking out at it. But nonetheless, Lisa just really loved that story. I did too, about how the dolphins, there it is. That's it right there behind you.
It's just incredible.
Such a beautiful sight.
And Ed, what you said was absolute truth. And you've really used the team, Jenny and Susan Welch and the amazing group that you have, including us and letting us come and be a part of your amazing event that you planned, which I had never met Daryl. And I would love for you to kind of share Daryl's story and what he's accomplished with Glow.
Oh, you want me to do that?
Yeah, if you don't
We
mind.
can, you can, if you remember it, we can if you
Well,
want to.
okay. Daryl is under Susan Welch. She met him at a meeting, and somehow or another pretty quick that he was talking about that he needed to lose some weight. And so he started on Glow when it came out, and then a couple of months before that, I think just Slim Fast. And he has lost over 80 pounds, 84 pounds. And on his belt loop, he's measuring that not necessarily by inches, but loose, but he's about probably 6 inches less than his on his belt. And all he does is 1 Glow a day in his Slim Fast and sort of drinks it out through the day and, watching his diet and everything. So he feels better, looks better, very proud. And a big key of that is to keep it going is the Glow product.
And, we had never met Daryl, Lisa and I hadn't. And so to get from your driveway up to your front door is 19 steps. Is that right?
That's right.
19 steps, straight vertical up. And so Daryl comes, rings doorbell, comes in, introduces himself. And we get to talk to him just for a minute. And he says, last time I came here, which was a couple of months ago, he was breathing so hard he had to go sit down. Daryl ended up making that night, just for different things, going back and forth to get things out of his vehicle, I think 5 trips up and down those steps. And he said, there's no way I could have done that. He showed me a picture of himself prior to mostly from the shoulders up. You could just see his face. He looked like a totally different person, and people are not recognizing Daryl. And it's really a great story. It was great for him to come and participate. He stayed after the meeting, got to talk with Lisa and spend some time in his back office to help him understand a few things. That's what we mean by working together as a team. And that was a real emphasis at Ed's house that night, to communicate to people that this business is built best together. And it's funny because I bought a Tampa Bay t-shirt and it says better together, literally on the way back. Did you know what the t-shirt says that?
I did not.
Better together. And I bought it because that's really what this trip felt. I wanted a Tampa Bay Buccaneers t-shirt, and I found a good price on one, but it said better together with the Buccaneer symbol in the middle. And it really represented everything about this trip to me. You didn't even know that that's the reason I picked that one.
Know that.
That's what it is.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Anyway, it's pretty cool. So anyway.
So the third lesson, and I hadn't even really shared this with Hal, but I'm going to let him kind of summarize, and then we'll open it up for questions. And also I want to recognize anybody new that would like to introduce themselves on the call.
Why don't we do that now? Is there anybody?
Let me just get through this little
Okay.
content first. But
Okay.
the point that I wanted to make was another kind of metaphor. And it's just sometimes when you get away from your daily routine, you see things in a different way. And the Airbnb that Hal and I stayed at, which was walking distance from the stadium that the Outback Bowl was played in, was just really super cool. And it had these Adirondack chairs in a circle with a fire pit in the middle of it. And the second night we were there, our host let us use one of those Duro flames, and there was a lot of wood in this fire pit. And so we just created this amazing fire, and it just burned and burned and burned. And at the when we were going to get ready to go to bed, we're like, well, what do we do with the fire? And it was totally safe. I'm like, I think it'll just burn itself out pretty quickly. But I woke up the next morning and it was still smoldering. Literally, it had not flames, but just smoke coming up. It was still really burning from the inside. And what that made me think about as the third metaphor is when you build this business fast, and when you build at any point, you can start slow, but when you turn up the speed and create a flame, that flame does not disappear overnight. And we have multiple examples of that. People who built to the Jeep level. One of them, how nobody on this call would recognize the name of on your team, who for whatever reason couldn't continue to build. You picked up those little embers, and people like Cindy Alvarado came from that team who have now continued the work that we originally started in the original mission.
Mhm.
And so the word metaphor for me was just, if you at any point turn up the heat to create a flame, that will continue even beyond your, sometimes people can take some time off. Sometimes life happens and we can't actively build every minute of every day. And so when you have periods where you can really intensify your effort at building this business, it will continue to pay you back for years and years to come, which is really the point of the whole fire. So anything you want to add to that?
I think it's beautiful. That's good.
Okay, so I want Hal to go ahead and talk a little bit more about lifestyle and dreams and goals.
So in finishing 21, on the 1st, we woke up Saturday morning, the Airbnb in Tampa, Florida, like Lisa said, about 3/4 of a mile from the football stadium where we were going. Now, for some, y'all have heard me talk about that. That's not something that we have got to do in our life, those kinds of things. Lisa wasn't really interested in that kind of thing, but nonetheless, this year she's become like one of the Razorbacks' biggest new fans, and she gets into the game. She's high-fiving me. She actually started talking to the girl next to us during the game when the Razorbacks weren't doing so good because she was getting all nervous and stuff. Now, you're a fan of a team when you're into it so much that you can't even watch the game. That's how my dad used to be. He'd have to leave because he was so into it. And I'm like, I'm not that way. I'm going to enjoy it and root for him. I'm going to stay right here and not miss. But we woke up on January 1st. I did. Got up, made my coffee, but and sat with Lisa and we talked. But what I realized on January 1st of 2022, and it's in part because we were in Tampa, in part because we were driving a new Jeep, in part because we had just left Steve and Jenny Todd, in part because we had just left Ed Keller's house, in part because we had just left Gene and Lorena Workmeister, who drove 3 hours to be with us in Evansville, Indiana, in part because we sat at 2 different fireplaces at Mary Ellen and Roger's house and took videos of their dog Flash chewing on a plastic pig, in part because we got to see people we'd never met before, in part because we're enjoying life. And I woke up on January 1st of 2022, very grateful, but more importantly than that I want to share with you is incredibly hopeful about the year 2022. It was really neat to wake up on the 1st without any conscious decision to feel good about the coming year. It just was there in my heart, in my gut. It just felt good looking forward into 2022. And so as I went about the day and then going down to see Jenny and Tony Lusby this morning, leaving our Airbnb, driving down there and seeing that beautiful place, it just continued to feel good, not overwhelming, but a solid hope, a solid kind of excitement and dream building. And when you have that, it just kind of comes out of you. We had a very interesting thing that happened. We found a restaurant in Tampa. And by the way, I don't know if everybody in Tampa is this way, but we didn't, even at the car wash we drove through this morning, everybody's so stinking nice there. I mean, they're just really nice people in Tampa, the waitresses, the people at the ushers at the ball games. I'm like, man, these are some really super nice people. But we met 2 waitresses who just seemed like they were attracted. They had a lot to do, but they were attracted to us. I mean, didn't it feel like that?
Yeah.
Actually, one of them, she gave us her phone number. She wanted to know more about what we were doing. We weren't even really trying to prospect her. The other waitress, she stood at our table and kind of told us about the fact that, I mean, she just told us a little bit about her life, and they were very busy, as you can imagine. And I think we exude that kind of sense of well-being and hope and living that kind of, just letting that come out of you. And so I really hope that all of us, yes, it's like Steve said, law of attraction, you're attracting that kind of thing. And I really want the year 2022 for all of us to be specifically with Zilis, but beyond that, a year of hope and dreaming, your hopes and your dreams. Lisa and I continue to expand our hopes and dreams. Obviously on this call with you guys, it's all about, mostly about the focus on Zilis and how to do that, being practical and building it, what it's all about. But as y'all know, I mean, Lisa and I are writing books, we're doing things, just expanding our influence in the world and being influenced by others. And so just wanted to let you know that. So anyway.
Well, I want to add to that. Thank you, Hal. But seeing Jenny and Tony's place in St. Petersburg, Florida, really was just an amazing step, and that would just take your breath away at what this platform can create. And it's within every single one of our grasp, because you guys are on this call, you're engaged right now. We have the entire year to create something amazing. And this platform will actually pay up to $1 million a month in income, a cash asset, literally, that you can build. And Jenny and Tony are the people that have done it first. They went all the way, they maxed the comp plan out. They're enjoying the fruit of their labor, and literally the house, their second home in St. Pete, with this amazing boat behind it that they've completely renovated, they paid cash for. And I'm not saying that on their behalf to brag in any way. I'm just saying that somebody at my stage of the game, we have a limited runway. Where else can you compress time to create that kind of income that will literally create an impact on that many people? And that's what is most exciting to me about Zilis.
They loaded us up on their golf cart and took us around down to the beach and came back and fixed us breakfast. And it's just a beautiful place. And I told Lisa, so Lisa's like, when we pull in through Florida, she's like, I just can see myself living here. And can't you just feel that? And I go, well, not really. No, I'm not so excited as you are. It's just like, I love Four Seasons. I love the mountains. I love the Razorbacks, and I love being that, there. But I got to tell you, when we pulled in down to where Jenny and Tony live, just the feeling of it. It's not like these big mansions. It just was just like, this is practical. This is livable. This is doable. And it's 10 minutes from the beach, and it's, pickleball courts across the street, and they're not brand new, but it's cool. There's a doggy park over there, and that's cool. And they have, the bay in their backyard, which was really cool. Kind of like Ed's place. But anyway, and then Steve and Jenny, I don't know. I'm getting more feelings about Florida every day. So
well, Hal, it's 15 degrees in Arkansas right now.
That's true.
We've got flip-flops on.
Yeah, we turned our water off before we left just to make sure. So
anyway,
we don't want to make this call about us, but a part of what we do is, I hope y'all know us well enough to know, I hope that we don't come across as like bragging about all this stuff, but it just feels good to share it with you, and hoping that you will catch the dream and hope and pursuit like we have. And so, anyway.
So I'm going to just go ahead and let you guys, anybody have questions, and certainly anyone who was a part of this little mini Christmas New Year's tour that would like to add anything at all, please speak up. And if you have somebody new that's joined our call, we would love to hear from you as a sponsor or also that individual.
Well, I'd like to put one out there. I was talking to Steve and Jenny while you guys were taking care of business getting in. Stephen has the Reach for the Beach campaign. I think we're going to call this one down here Teach at the Beach, and just let the whole downline from you guys down do it, and we'll just make it happen.
I love that idea.
Teach at the beach.
Yeah, we've got enough ambassadors down there. If you guys will put some people up, we might just camp out down here. We'll throw up Steve and Jenny got place on the couch here. We got some floor space. Ed, we know you got space. Between Brian and Susan, they could probably host about 15. They're not on the call.
They got an RV and I have an RV, so we can probably get up to 30.
I'm telling you, we could probably put together a party of about 20 or 25 people, about an hour and a half from each other. Ed, that's really a great idea.
It is a great idea.
We'll put some thinking to that.
Fantastic. Thank you. And Ed, thank you so much for just your consistency, your courage, Ed, you had questions that you asked us the following day, and we did some great kind of just a little bit back office training and some vision casting. And I hope you guys are on Team Unlimited and saw Ed's little cameo appearance where he shared Why Zilis, which he did a great job with that. So Ed, thank you for all that you do. And we just loved spending time with you.
Ed's learning to take an engineer's explanation and put it into, which is 15 to 20 minutes, and put it into about a minute. Congratulations, Ed. You're making progress. We
I
just
got
love
this little thing under my pillow at night that Steven does. It tells me what to do on that. Yeah.
We love getting to know you guys better as time goes by, spending time with you. You know, when we were in, where was it? We had our conference. Where did we have the 80s party?
Dallas.
Was that in Dallas?
That was Dallas.
That was Dallas. Some of y'all we got to spend more time with there that we don't normally get to see. So what we say is, you know, continue to work, build the team, and we will come to you. You know, build a little pocket of people, and we will come to you and help you grow it from there. So, any other questions? Orlando.
Julia.
Hey, Julia.
Yeah, I wanted to introduce, he wants to stay anonymous, but this
Okay.
is a guy that is a mover and shaker, and I've talked to him for, a while. We've been friends from a distance because of another networking group we were in, and he's on tonight, and he is, seriously talking to his people. I'm so impressed that he's actually looking at this, because sometimes reaching out to the people that have already been successful in other networking groups and things, it's hard to talk to him about something, but he's like-minded, and I love that. And part of that is me not being afraid to reach out to him. So if you've got that person out there that you admire for what they've already built, invite them. What's the worst they can say is, no, I'm busy, whatever. And I won't say his name, but I'm so grateful you're looking at this. Okay.
Welcome, Mr. Anonymous. Glad you're here.
Absolutely. Honestly, it takes a certain kind of courage to really show up on a training call. And this is, not really a prospecting call. So we don't really have any secrets at all, but I think it really says a lot about him that he's doing his due diligence. That's super important. And we're here if there's any questions. We love to share. We love to share Zilis.
Okay, we'll say hi to Teresa, but before we got Julia off, you look beautiful. You're radiant. You look really great.
Oh, thanks.
And you're an awesome soul. But you had a little, we saw you on Tuesday, and then a couple of days later, you'd overdone it, I think.
Yeah.
You were feeling too
good. I'll find out everything tomorrow, but
no more furniture lifting for you.
No. No, I actually was good tonight. So
well, I wanted to shout out to another Jenny Todd shout out, but when we talk about the dolphins and how they feed, one of the things that Jenny Todd does so well, and you too, Julia, is three-way phone calls and pulling people into just that circle of validation. She introduced me to an amazing physical therapy assistant named Teresa, and I want to welcome Teresa to tonight's call. We're on, thankfully, Steve and Jenny's computer. It would have taken us another 15 minutes, but so I can't really see the roster here, but if Teresa is on, I would love just to have her join us for just a second and say hello. Teresa, are you there?
I'm here. Hello.
She's beautiful. I love your photo. Thank you for being willing to jump on this call and jump in this business. I enjoyed our conversation, Teresa. Just tell us a 1-minute background for you. What do you do, and why Zilis for you?
As I told y'all before, I'm a physical therapist assistant. I'm currently back in the Tyler, Texas area after having been in Houston for about 3 or 4 years. I'm just here temporarily doing some home health, but I'm hoping that getting started with Zilis will allow me to kind of retire from being a PTA and moving on and developing a new career in this business, and still being able to help people, but in a different aspect, and getting to grow and learn and be better at whatever I want to do. So that's kind of what I'm aiming for this year.
She doesn't have a kid yet.
Oh,
You know, that's amazing. So Jenny just told me that you haven't even gotten your gold kit in yet, and you're still on this call, which really says a lot about you.
That sounds like something you would do. That sounds like what leaders would do.
The other thing, Teresa, I
They get on
love,
the call before they're even in or before they get
Right.
any material. That's what I did.
and Teresa takes notes, like she was taking notes when we had just our introduction call tonight. So we're really looking forward to getting to work with you, and you will be a very powerful voice in Tyler, Texas and beyond.
You got some great help too.
Great
around here.
leaders to circle.
I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to get started.
We look forward to meeting you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Teresa, for chiming in.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to ask a question, make a comment? We're open for just another minute or so, or if there's any other guests that we need to introduce on the call.
Yeah, I have one thing I want to say.
Oh yeah, go ahead now.
So we got a text this afternoon on the way. Sherry Discern just texted and mentioned that her Ron, her husband, was needing prayers, and so she's on the call tonight. And so I hope things have worked out with that. But just keep one of Sherry and Ron in your thoughts and prayers. Just wanted to mention that. I asked her if it was okay. I texted her, asked her if it was okay to share that.
It's fine. I appreciate it. Turns out he has COVID again. He
Okay.
had it 11 months ago, and he's fully vaccinated, and now he has COVID again.
Well, that's going around.
Keep
for
him
sure.
on everything we've got. So,
Absolutely.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
especially ice. Load him up with ice.
Yeah,
Dr. Steve's over here telling us.
we'll keep,
loaded him up with
definitely
ice.
keep him in prayer. Thank you for
Mhm.
bringing
Thank
him
you
up.
so
Thanks,
much.
Sherry.
Thank you, Sherry. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording
Okay.
here.